Hi there, everyone. I'm Tracy, and some of you know me as the Crazy Celt. Some of you know me as Tracy Hope. Anyway, I am sorry. I was supposed to actually start this vlogging on Christmas Eve, and that didn't happen because I was not well. I ended up kind of getting a little touch of the flu, so yeah, that was the holdup there. But it is New Year's Eve this evening. It is probably, I don't know, like 11:30, and I'm in bed. And I thought, well, this is a perfect time for me to go ahead and do my first video. So this journey is going to be, I'm calling it the Julian Journey, and there is a reason behind that. I'm half Irish and half Norwegian, and I love Irish folklore and history in general, both sides. And how I came up with the Julian Journey is long time ago. I want to say 18th century, I believe. The Irish, the Celts had. They used what was called the Gaulish Colony calendar, and it was basically a 5-year calendar. And the Romans loved the Celts so much that they actually implemented that calendar into their lifestyle. Once that kind of wore off, and then the Romans implemented what was called the Julian calendar. Okay, which was used until, oh gosh, probably the 19th, possibly even the 20th century. I'm not even 100% sure, but it's off by like, I don't know, 0.2 or something, as far as time-wise. And now we go by the Gregorian calendar. So anyway, long story short, the Julian calendar is where I'm getting the name, and the Julian calendar actually goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way to 365 days. It doesn't run, 30 or 31 days a month. It runs consecutive like that. So I like the name of it, and this is going to be a 365-day commitment for me, and yeah, so that's where I got the name. And basically, if you've been following me at all on Instagram, or if you're, know me, you know that I have suffered from fibromyalgia and CFSME for several years now, and I have literally tried just about everything you can imagine, and I think I actually kind of, I don't know. I'm going to commit to this year to rearrange my life and do what needs to be done to really give my body a fighting chance to heal on its own, because I really do come from a belief system that our bodies naturally want to heal itself. We get scrapes, we get cuts, broken bones. Our bodies naturally want to take care of that. So unfortunately, I do have autoimmune disease, so that makes things a little bit different, a little bit more difficult, I would say, than somebody who doesn't have any sort of autoimmune issues, because if you know anything about autoimmune disease, you know that it is your body, your own cells, and we'll get into the NK, natural killer cells, and we'll get into all that stuff at some point a little bit further down the road. But your body attacks itself rather than what it should be attacking, which is any, virus or bacteria unwanted within the body. And our body mistakes healthy tissue, healthy cells, for that, and then attacks the body. So things can get pretty out of whack when when you're dealing with that. So before I tell you exactly, because I did want to go over really quickly, just I think it's really important. First of all, if you're going to follow along, obviously, if you follow along, if you would like to join this journey and give it a try, the only thing that I would really recommend right now that is important to have is a journal. I don't care, whatever. Just have a specific, something that you can write in, because it's going to be important to keep track of all kinds of different things during the course of this journey. And I just think it's imperative to really have a specific something that you can journal the whole process. So I do hope that some of you will, come along on this journey with me. If not, like I said, if you just want to follow along and check it out and pick up, partway through, that's fine too. It's whatever. So basically what I'm doing, okay, first of all, I'll just tell you a little bit about myself and the fact that, my first career was in the fitness industry. So, I was a trainer. I was a director, a program director, and, so I put together programs. I was a personal trainer for many years. So very, very health conscious and, pretty reasonably educated, I would say, in that department. Then from there, I went into the fire service. So, both of those fields have been a great resource for me dealing with what I'm dealing with. It's been great. In the fire service, you go to an emergency, what do? You assess the situation, break it down, figure out what resources you need, and you go to work. And that is what I am going to do in this situation. There's no reason it should be any different. Start working on it, and if it's working, great. And if not, then, then you change things up a little bit or whatever. So, but the priority, I don't know if I already said this, but it's a 365-day commitment, right? So the great thing about this, and the thing that I think is just really critical, is that it's not rushed. Okay, I am a type A personality. I'm very goal oriented. When I got sick with this stuff, I denied it. I denied it. I was in denial for so long, and I continued doing the work in the fire service, and it really was detrimental to my health. I didn't realize just how detrimental it was until I was no longer in it, and then I really dove into researching, and rather than just trying to push through, which is what I did. I simply tried to, push through the pain, push through the fatigue, and it didn't work. My schedule was 48 hours on and 96 hours off. So 2 days on, 4 days off. And there were so many times, especially towards the end of my career, that, I'd get off duty after running an insane shift. And I wouldn't do anything for my 4 days off, and I would not even be fully recovered enough to be back at work. But what was I going to do? I mean, I just, it was like, okay, well, I'm still tired. Yeah, well, everybody's tired. Well, I don't feel good. Well, get over it. put your big girl panties on and figure it out. And that's what I did. And I didn't listen to my body like I should have. And so that is what I'm doing now. And I am letting go of that need to be a bulldozer and just, push through these things, because it's not doing me any good. I make certain changes and I feel really good, and then I push myself too hard, or it could be anything, and then it's like, and then I crash, and it's crashing not for just like a day, but like weeks, sometimes months, with flares. It's a horrible cycle, and I don't wish it on anyone at all. But I'm just bound and determined to really take this slow, and really, rather than push through these things, implement these things slowly but surely, and really make them habitual changes in my lifestyle, rather than push. I know my body. It's not that I don't listen to my body. I do. I just ignore the signals. And, you can only do that for so long before your body tells you, doesn't give you a choice in the matter anymore. And I really do believe that is what occurred for me, to some extent. So, I think there are 6 really imperative factors that I will be focusing on for the next year. And the body, obviously, is key. When I say the body, okay, I mean, so exercise, and I'm not even going to get into all that right now, but I'm not talking about graded exercise, because as we know, as those of us who have CFSME know, that is not always beneficial for us. And as a matter of fact, I mean, for me, I make gains pretty quickly, but it all just fades away, because I end up crashing, and it's, and then I'm down for a month or 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever. And it's just a horrible cycle. You get depressed, and then it's just a nightmare. It's a nightmare. So when I say the body, I do mean exercise, and exercise could simply be walking or range of motion exercises, stretching. But there are key things, but it doesn't mean that all of these things will be touched right off the bat. So, obviously strength training, cardiovascular training, and flexibility are hugely important, and as well as our internal. So what are we putting in our bodies? Obviously, diet is going to be a humongous part of this whole process. So the body, the mind, another huge important part of this whole process. Remaining positive is not always easy, and again, it's, I think that it's okay to have bad days. I don't think that putting a smile on and just pretending like everything's peachy keen is the way to go. I don't believe in that. So I think it's important to recognize what's going on, but just not get stuck in that place. Spirituality, I think, is another, being conscious, values, your principles, what are the things that are really important to you, and getting rid of things that no longer serve you, and implementing things that will make, your life better. Relationships, obviously, relationships can be a huge part, big stressor in our life. And so that's something. You know, and I just dealt with some stuff on that note for myself, and you know, it's really hard. I almost decided not to do this vlog, this whole 365 days, but I'm going to follow through with this. I don't care what anybody thinks or says or put downs, or, you know, if you want to know about it, that's great. It's here. If you don't, you know, don't. I'm simply doing this for accountability for myself, as well as anybody else who would like to, you know, jump on board and go on this adventure with me, because I think having support is always a good thing, and you don't have to be sick to do this, okay? That's the cool thing about it. It will work for whatever you're dealing with right now. Work, obviously, that's another important issue. You know, career achievements. Where do you want to be? Where do you see yourself? That's later on, okay? Later on in the year. And then sleep, hugely important, obviously. Yeah, sleep is just, it makes me sad when I think about sleep, because I miss it. You know, I have always been the kind of person that needs sleep, you know, 8 hours, even when I was, you know, young. And yeah, that is really important now, and it's not always easy, you know, and I'm sure you guys have heard the term, you know, tired but wired, and that is just an unfortunate reality of part of what we, you know, deal with, or unfortunately dealing with pain and trying to rest. You know, it's just, it's not easy. So, well, I think that is where I will end this first video. I'm going to try to keep them between about 10 and 15 minutes long. I don't want to, you know, go overboard. And yeah, next time I think we'll probably go into my medical history, and we can talk about the importance of you know, knowing your medical history and where you are today and where you want to see yourself, where I want to see myself. So anyway, I hope everyone's having a great New Year's Eve, and Happy New Year. Okay, here's to the Julian Journey, 365 days, right? Take care. Bye-bye.